Alright, so today I'm going to be ranking champions worst from best. Qualifications are title defenses. That means basically how many times you defended your title. Your resume, basically who you've beaten. How long was your title reign? Self-explanatory. How long did you hold the belt? Dominance. Are you getting split decisions over people? Are you getting flukes over people? Are you dominating them and winning clearly and finishing them? Skill. How well can you mix it up? How well-rounded are you? And basically, how skilled are you? How much skill do you show in your fights? So let's start off. In last place, I have Drickus. Now, no, this isn't discrediting him. I think he's a very good fighter, but it's just he hasn't defended his belt yet. He just got his belt and he won it controversially, and also the guy that he beat didn't have any title defenses, so he didn't take down a long-reigning champion. He took down a new champion. He's still a new champion, and he beat them controversially. So even though I think he's a great fighter and he could climb his way up this list, right now he just hasn't proved himself as much as the other guys on the list. So I have him at last place, but he's a good fighter. I'm not discrediting him, and he has some good wins. He's working his way up, definitely. Above him, I have Alexander Pantoja. Pantoja, he has defended his belt once, but the guy that he beat for the belt was a solid win. He beat Moreno, but Moreno hasn't defended the belt yet, even though he is a multiple-time champion, because he lost it and got it back and lost it and got it back. But the guy he beat, he got a solid win, and he just defended his title against Royval, who's a top contender. So he has 2 title wins, he has a title defense, and I think he's definitely going to keep the belt, and I think if I make this list again a year later, I think he'll be a lot higher on it, because I think he's definitely going to keep the belt. And I don't see anyone in his division beating him. It's just the guys above him have proved themselves a little bit more. They beat better guys for the belt, or they've beaten better guys before that, and they just more proven. But Pantoja definitely is a solid fighter, and he's a lot of potential. Sean O'Malley, I know he has no title defenses, but you got to look at who he beat for the belt. He just beat Aljamain Sterling, who is arguably the greatest bantamweight of all time. So to get the belt, he stopped and finished Aljamain Sterling, and he stopped him. He won clearly. You can't debate, oh, he shouldn't have the belt right now because he lost that fight. No, he clearly bet Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain Sterling had, 3, 4 title defenses, so he beat a long-reigning champion, who is arguably the GOAT of the division, and he stopped them. So that's why I think he's at high on this list. I know he doesn't have any title defenses yet, and he has a lot of tough matchups in this division, but he's champion in one of the best divisions in the UFC. So I'll give credit where credit's due. I know he's a very controversial figure, but I think he should be higher than all the guys below him, because the guy that he beat for the belt is better than the guy that they beat, and he beat them more clearly. He finished them, so he got a finish to win the belt, unlike Pantoja and Drickus. So that's why I have O'Malley up there. Alex Pereira, he's a 2-division champion. He finished both of the people to get his belt. He finished Israel Adesanya, who's a great win, and then he finished Yuri, who's a solid win, and then he beat Jan. Like, he's just beaten so many champions. He beat Strickland, the guy that Drickus won the belt from. Alex Pereira stopped in 1 round. And I know it kind of sounds like I'm discrediting Drickus. I don't have any problem with Drickus. I think he's a great fighter. It's just he's not as proven as some of these guys. Alex Pereira is a 2-time champion, and he's beaten a lot of champions. He's beaten tons of champions. He's proved himself a lot, and he's a great fighter, great striker. Arguably the best striker in the UFC, if not one of the best strikers in the UFC. I know he hasn't defended his belt yet, but everybody else below him has either only has 1 title defense or 0 title defenses. So I think it's very fair to put Alex Pereira here. And yeah, let's move on to the next person. Leon Edwards. He has 2 title defenses. Yeah, he beat Usman. That was his first title defense, and he beat Colby. Yeah, so he beat Usman twice, although I do think the first one was a bit of a fluke. But he still beat Usman, who was a pound-for-pound champion, a long-reigning champion, who was pound-for-pound #1 at the time. So he beat the pound-for-pound #1 champion twice. I know one time was a fluke, but it was still a finish. It still counts as a win. And then he beat him on decision the other time, and he just beat Colby, who's a top contender in the division. I do not think that's the best version of Colby. I think the best version of Colby would definitely beat Leon. But on paper, he still has the win over Colby, sadly. So, yeah, he has 2 title defenses. He's beaten Usman twice, and he just beat Colby, and I see him... Actually, I don't see him keeping the belt for that long. I think Shavkat's going to beat him, but he's proven himself, and he's beaten very good competition. So you have to put him high on this list. You can't put him any lower. You can't put Alex Pereira or Sean O'Malley or Drickus higher than him. You just can't because he's defended his title 2 times against very good people. Well, Kobe's not that good at this point, but still, he's not horrible. John Jones, I know a lot of people are going to be saying he should be higher on the list. He's the greatest of all time, which I agree. But we're going off currently. In his current division, he has no title defenses, and he beat Cyril Gahn, who wasn't even champion for the vacated belt. The only reason he is this high on the list is because he's a legend and he's undefeated. He has an amazing resume. He has a great resume. He's very proven. But right now, you can't put him higher than the other 2 people because he hasn't defended his belt yet. He checks off half of the things on this list, a resume, all that type of stuff. Even title defense a little bit because he has them at light heavyweight. But right now, in his current title run, he has no title defenses. But he's the greatest of all time, so you have to put him somewhat high on this list. He's very well proven. He has the best resume on this list. But it's just, he needs to defend his belt a little bit more. Give him 1 or 2 title defenses, he might jump up the list, become number 1. But in this current division, he hasn't proven himself as much as some of the other guys on this list. So yeah, I have John Jones at number 3. And yeah, just give him some more time. If he beats Aspinall, boom, he's getting jumped up the list. Maybe he'll get to number 2 or 1. But right now, he has to prove himself a little bit more. At heavyweight, not at light heavyweight. He's the greatest of all time at light heavyweight, the greatest of all time in general. But in his current division, he hasn't proven himself that much. So that's why he's not number 1. But he should be higher than the other guys just based off of what he's done in the past. But the past won't bring him high enough to be higher than Alexander Volkanovski. Volk has 5 title defenses at his current weight division. He's basically ran through the division. He has lost 2 times recently. But, man, Volk's a good fighter. He's super well-rounded. He can do everything. The skill is there. The title defense is there. The reign is there. The resume is there. He's beaten Max Holloway 3 times. Volk's a great fighter. And he's on the GOAT list. He's on the probably top 10. He probably is top 10. So, yeah. And he's arguably the greatest of all time in his own division. So I think Volk definitely should be number 2 on this list. Everything that's there, he checks it off. He's done it all. He has a super long reign. He has a lot of title defenses. Great resume. Super skilled. Super well-rounded. Volk definitely earned his spot on this list. But the man higher than him is Islam Makhachev. Islam, I know he doesn't have as long as a reign as Volk, but he's beaten him twice. The guy that's number 2 on this list, Islam beat him twice. He beat Charles Oliveira, who is a great champion. He's super well-rounded, he's super skilled, and I think he's going to hold his belt for a really long time. I mean, everything that's on this list, he doesn't have the title defenses, but he's beaten the number 2 guy on this list, and he's beaten him twice, and he finished him once. And he's super well-rounded, he's super skilled. This guy's an amazing striker, amazing grappler. He's earned his spot on this list. Him and Volk, the first time they fought, was marketed as winners pound-for-pound number 1. Islam won, and then he didn't get the pound-for-pound spot, so we had to go around and knock him out again, and he earned it. Islam is the best champion right now. I don't care if you don't like him because he's Dagestanian, or you think he's boring, because he's not boring. He's super entertaining. If you look at this guy's last couple fights, his last fight against Volk, entertaining, knocked him out in 1 round. His other fight against Volk, entertaining, or fight against Charles Oliveira, that was entertaining. What was the fight before that? Bobby Green, he finished him in 1 round, entertaining. He finished Dan Hooker in 1 round, entertaining. You can't hate on I don't know why he gets so much hate, man. He's the best fighter in the UFC right now. He smokes Leon. If he goes up the division, he smokes Leon. And he's skilled. He's the most unbeatable fighter in the UFC right now, and he beat Volk twice. That's why he's number 1 on this list. He beat the number 2 guy on this list twice. Why shouldn't he be number 1? And he's defended his title a couple times. And then once he runs through Gaethje and the winner of Armin Charles, there's going to be no debate. No one's going to be saying he shouldn't be number 1. And then once he beats Leon or Shavkat or whoever has a belt, there's going to be no debate. So yeah, that's my list. I have Islam at number 1. If you guys disagree, put it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. 100%.